everyone. So today's video, I am actually going to show you guys how to separate seedlings. This does not work for everything, but it works really well for tomatoes, works pretty well for peppers. But I wanted to kind of show you how to do it. I will be honest here, this is just my second year doing this. So I practiced before I started the video to make sure I was doing it right. But I wanted to show you what you're looking for when you know you can separate your seedlings and put them in individual pots. So these two Bonnie Bests were in the same pot. I went ahead and separated them. And this is actually the best one for you to be able to tell. The reason that I realized it was time to do it and I didn't really need to wait was saw the roots coming through because I try to bottom water as much as possible and they're going to the water. They're doing what they are supposed to do. Unfortunately, these pots are super tiny and they're not meant to stay in for very long. So this is, you know, other than roots coming through, on a tomato specifically and a pepper, what you're looking for, let's see if I can get it to be clear. So you see these first sets of leaves right here. These two that are bigger are the ones that sprout out. Those are just the baby leaves, essentially. What you're looking for are the first true leaves, which are these little guys right here. The ones that are more tomato looking, kind of what you expect a tomato plant's leaves to look like. These first ones are just, like I said, just the baby leaves. They don't really mean a whole lot. So what you're going to do, and bear with me while I move my camera around so I can show you, and don't judge me, I haven't gotten a table to be able to do this yet. Cannot wait, working on that. But I'm going to put my camera down real quick so you guys can see. I am working on the floor, but what works, it works. Okay. So what I'm going to do, and I already separated out all the little, because all of these are connected. I went ahead and the ones that I'm going to do, I went ahead and separated them. So I'm going to gently, but not like worry too much. I don't want to break the stem. The roots I'm not as worried about. Obviously I want to keep as many as I can, but I'm not going to freak out because there's no way I'm going to get all of that. I guarantee it. They're going to break. You just pinch around it as best you can. And this pot actually is one of the compostable ones. I could just like rip it open, throw it in the compost, but I'm going to try to save it so I can start more seeds in it. That's what I did with this one. It broke just a tiny bit, but I can still reuse this, and I'm going to. But you just kind of pick it up with your fingers and gently pull it out. And like I said, I knew I was going to break off some of the roots. They are just stuck in there. There was no way I was going to be able to get those out. So then what I do is just kind of gently, very, very, very gently pull these guys apart. And as you see, both of them have nice roots still. This one still has really long roots. This one has good roots. But what's really nice about tomatoes is they will actually, if they are just left in the wild to grow, they don't grow vertically like we want them to grow. They actually fall over, they grow to the ground, and everywhere the stem touches on the ground will grow roots. So what's nice is if you break these roots, they're going to grow more roots on the stem. And what I'm going to do is I poke, set him down, I poke a hole in this pot. This seed starting mix is a little damp, so it's easy, it stays, it doesn't just fall apart, makes a mess. So make sure you have a towel underneath you if you're doing this inside, which this time of year you probably are if you're doing this. But yeah, you just make a little hole and you take your seedling and you gently put him down in the middle. So you see where the root ends. You want to go up the stem a little bit, about halfway, and just push the dirt on him right there and kind of flatten it out. You want to be gentle, but you don't have to baby them as much. You just don't want to break the stem. If you break the stem, you're kind of SOL on that one. And that's it. It was so easy. I keep this separate because I want to make sure, I thought I lost the label. I want to make sure I label it correctly. So I'm going to get this other guy in here real fast. Show you. And again, these long roots, they're just going to bunch up together. So I'm just going to push them all in there. Some of them are probably going to break about halfway again. And then just kind of pack it down. Now, there is a chance that not all of these are going to make it. I understand that. But what's nice is the majority of them are. So where I started 2 seeds in that pot or 3 seeds in this pot, just because I was concerned about germination, 2 germinated or 3 germinated. So then I can separate these and then I have twice the plants, which is just awesome. I absolutely love that. I have those to be able to put in my garden, to be able to sell, to be able to give to family or friends. And it's just super convenient with that this can be done. The peppers are not ready to do this too, but it's essentially the same process. You're just a little bit more careful. You don't want to damage as many roots because you can't plant them. They're not going to do what tomatoes do. They're not going to root for the whole stem. So you can plant them halfway up, but they're not going to produce more roots and be able to grow bigger. So you want to be just a little bit more careful on those, because some of my pepper plants are not just normal peppers. I have some jalapenos and I have some bell peppers, but I have shishitos and I have my Chinese 5-color and I have some Thai chilies. Those are hard to grow sometimes and they don't like to germinate. And the ones that I have that are germinated, there's a good chance I am not going to separate them and I am just going to cut off one of the 2 seeds that I have versus separating them and trying to get 2 plants. I can't risk. My husband is acting up in the background. It makes me nervous because I really want the shishitos. Now, I'm going to try to start some more. I'm actually going to do just a few more trays of just peppers. This is going to be my to sell peppers and my to give away peppers. These specifically, these tomatoes and these peppers that I have already started are for my garden. They are for me. So these others that I'm going to start are going to be the ones that I'm just going to offer up to people. So I will probably try to separate those. I'm not going to put them in the individual pots though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them directly in here. I'm going to have dirt. I'm not going to put it all the way up to the top. I'm put about halfway. So then I can easily separate them as I need to. I'm not going to put them really close together. I'm going to just do 1 pepper in each spot and go from there. But yeah, so let's do another one of these so I can show you guys again, just for anybody that might have questions. This thing is not like me today. All right, so one more time. I actually need more pot. And I ordered these. I don't know if I can get them anywhere cheaper, but I ordered these off of Amazon. These are, like I said, they're compostable and they are made, I just forgot what they were made out of. They're not made out of cardboard. They are made out of something else, and I'm drawing a blank. So I'm going to do the one that has the 3 seeds, just so I can show you. So you take them apart, I'm going to fill them up with some dirt. And I do have a bag of dirt in my house. I'm one of those people. Dirt. And again, more dirt. Okay. So this is another Bonnie's Best. This is what I did first before I turned the camera on. And like I said, so many roots, so many roots. Take the label, and I'm going to put it in. I only have the 3 pots ready for these 3 guys, so I'm just going to put it in one of the pots so I know what I'm planting. And again, let's see if I can get this camera a little bit closer for you. And again, so just kind of, I'm going to try to be gentle with the pot, but I'm going to be more gentle with the, whoop, see, it ripped. There we go. So we're just going to pop that sucker right open. Throw this in the compost bin. It is not, oh goodness. And I don't know if you guys can hear that, but some of those roots are breaking, and I broke them, and that's okay. And I'm just gonna plop this thing down. Camera, go down a little bit more. So put these here and just gently break these apart. Helps if your seed starting mix or whatever you're using is a little damp. If it's dry, it's a little bit more tough, but if it's damp, they just kind of like fall away from each other. It's like they're hugging. They're not actually married. They're just in a relationship, so they just break apart pretty easily. But yeah, so I'll show you this guy. See, he doesn't have big true leaves, but they're there. He should be fine. And poke a hole. And pop him in there about halfway up his stem. And kind of, you want to pat it down because you want to get those air bubbles out of the mix. One thing, if you ever do decide that you are wanting to start seeds for somebody, you need to look in your area. I've actually not researched, but I've just done it the right way just in case. But you need to research in your area and see what you are allowed to sell to people as far as the soil. A lot of places, most states, cities, counties, whatever, do not, it is illegal to sell plants that are in native soil. There's like a fine line on the soil. And so you want to get a potting mix, a seed starting mix that doesn't actually have any soil in it. From what I have heard and some videos, other videos that I've watched on YouTube, you can get bagged soil and they're fine with it. They just don't want you to go out into your backyard and dig up a plant and sell that. I don't know exactly what the laws here are, but because that is a concern, and I, would, heaven forbid, I do not want to spread anything from my yard to somebody else's yard if I had it. So I'm just going to do it the right way. I'm just going to use the potting mix, the seed starting mix that is soilless. I know it looks like dirt, but it's not dirt. It's soilless and safe. And so then I don't get in trouble later on. All right. So there we go. It's a good looking seedling. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to water these. And I will fill this tray up with water. Actually, big mistake. I have to label these. Luckily, I know which one's which, but please label them as you do them. I did not label the Roma after I did it, but it was right beside the other one. It's the whole process. You guys are getting the whole thing today. All right. So you get them labeled. And then got my rainwater. I am going to put some water on top of each of them because I mean they're not gonna be just like happy about being moved, but they're gonna be just fine if you take care of them. I'm going to, and I'm not concerned about getting water outside of the pots because I'm about to fill this tray up in the bottom. And I'm gonna go get some more water and I'm gonna just fill this up a good amount because these pots have holes in the bottom of them. I don't know if you guys can see that. And they're porous. It's already absorbing water. And so this is gonna bottom water. This is better because what it does is, as you can see, when you bottom water, you get an amazing root system that goes down, which protects the plant. They get that water from deep down. They just seem to live better that way. But yeah, so that is it. It takes a little bit of time, but it's easy. It's so easy to do. You don't have to stress about it. And worst case scenario, if you break one, you break one. Start another seed if you really are just upset about it. That's why I start so early. I have the space for when they get bigger to be able to keep them. Now, if you don't have the space, don't start them really early. You don't want to end up with a bunch of big plants in tiny little pots and nowhere to put them because you can't take them outside when it's cold. I have the space. I have this whole room. Now, they're going to be on the floor. They're going to be on a desk. They're going to be on a dresser. But I have somewhere to put them. I have the lights that they need. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to start them early because when I separate them, if one of them breaks, I'm going to start another one because I want a certain amount of tomatoes. I want a bunch of tomato plants, and I'm going to keep growing them until I get the number that I want. That's why I do it like this, and I love it. It's probably one of my favorite things. I love my garden. I love doing all this, but seed starting, it's my favorite. I absolutely adore it. So this was a long video, but I think this could be beneficial to, people that are just starting out with seed starting, if you're seed starting, or even if you buy your plants this year, pick the ones that have, like when you get them out of the, I don't even have the little trays. When you get them out of the little plastic trays that have like the 6 spots in them, find the ones that have extra in there and then separate them. And you have an extra plant that you didn't have to pay for because they don't charge you per plant. They just charge you for that little thing. And you can get more. That's what I always do. I always look for the ones that have extra, and then I come home, I make sure that they're healthy and happy, and then once they're good, I separate them. I put them in bigger pots. I get them to where they need to be, and then I have extra plants. Woo! So yeah, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. Please ask me. Send me a message if you need to. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, have a good night. Thanks. Bye.